Welcome to Life on Pig Row. It's been a very strange spring, as many of you know. The birds are just getting into the song at the moment, but it's been really a season of extreme heat and extreme cold. And to give you an idea, we did have snow yesterday. That's right, snow on May the 4th, which is one of the latest dates we've ever had it on. Right, so today I'm here to talk to you about some of the confusion that's arising around seed packets. We get a number of viewers and followers on Facebook and Twitter asking us how to read a seed packet. So we're going to look at a few seed packets. And just to tell you now, the seed packets I have and the companies that I use, this is not an endorsement or a recommendation. Find your own seed companies, seeds that you're happy with. I'm just going to show you a few from different seed companies. So let's start with this one, which is a courgette. Now, if we turn the packet over, it says, and I'm going to move it close to the camera so you can see it, it tells you the month of sowing, or when you can start to sow your seeds. And on this, it tells you very clearly if you're in a certain zone that you can plant from February through to May. Let's have a little common sense here, folks. This is a courgette. You may be able to plant this in February down south, but up here, you'll be lucky if you're planting it any time around now, which is what I'll be doing in a couple of weeks' time. Then that will just romp away. Let's look at one from DT Brown. DT Brown are different. They put all their information normally on the front of the packet. Again, it tells you when to sow it and how to sow it. Now again, remember it says March to April. Little common sense again. If you're having snow in March and it tells you to plant it outside, don't plant it outside. The reason why seed packets give such a long window for planting is that we're all in different zones, even within the UK. So in the UK, it's more likely spring will show up in places like Dorset and Devon 2 weeks before they show up near me up in Saddleworth. It'll probably be another 2 weeks before they show up for someone in Dumfries when they get their spring. So that's a month's difference. So be careful. So if you're norther than me, or northerner, or norther, whatever you want to call it, then you're probably planting at the end of April. I'm probably planting around mid-April. See? So we move on to a different seed company, Thompson Morgan. This is for Cosmos, a new variety of Cosmos called Zinnia. I think that's how you pronounce it, or Exinnia. Again, if we look at the back, can you see it's telling you when to plant it, and it's giving you a long window, so you can have successional sowing here. You could try some in March, you could sow some in April, you could sow some in May, because that's the months it tells you to sow your cosmos. And again, think about when spring hits for you. By the way, it's lovely and warm in here now because the sun actually has come out for once. Now, some seed companies that I particularly love give you precise information, and one of them is Chiltern Seeds, and it's all on the front of the packet. And I do like it when it's on the front of the packet, but at the same time, I do like that little graph that's on the back of the seed packet sometimes that gives you the months, as it did on the Thompson and Morgan, so you can see visually. Remember, we are a visual species. That's probably why we grow flowers and veg. We like the look of them. This gives you all the information that you need. But again, it tells you, and I show now that I've not got my reading glasses on, it says sow indoors after the last expected frost. That's a really hard one, as many gardeners this year are noting. So directly after danger of frost has passed. Again, that's a difficult one for many of us at the moment. And it tells you to sow into moist, well-drained compost. And what that means by that is add some grit. Some vermiculite. Add something that makes your compost drain well. Use a seed compost, because seed compost tends to drain well. And then it tells you what the ideal temperature is, which is 21 Celsius for germination. So basically, if your greenhouse isn't hot and it's unheated like mine, Put this on a windowsill over a radiator, or get a heated propagator, or wait until the last moment to sow it. And it says very clearly when to sow it, from March to May on the glass, or outdoors from May to June. In fact, it says April to June. I wouldn't even go to April around here. But, you know, we never think about cosmos as direct sown, but you can direct sow it. And finally, the seed cooperative. This is actually for direct sowing into open ground. It says very clearly, sow before the end of March or after mid-August. Sow in rows 15 centimetres apart, and there's an average of 500 seeds. Some seed packets actually tell you. So it's not as much information as Chiltern or Thompson Morgan. It's really a grower's kind of packet, this. Someone who's got used to growing. Sow before the end of March. Well, I've not done that because it's been really awful. So I'm going to sow this after mid-August now, hoping that the summer will actually show up. He says that with the sun blazing down on him. What can the new grower, the new gardener, someone completely and utterly befuddled by growing, take away from the seed packet? What can the gardener who is really good at growing take away from the seed packet? Well, the answer to that is the information that's on the back. It is advisory of when you are supposed to sow. Look outside, look at the weather, and decide yourself. You know when spring hits in your garden. Hopefully, you do. If not, watch. Start a diary. Find out when spring starts for you and see if it's the same every year or within a few weeks of each date that you've recorded. And after a while, you'll be like, I know that this really should be sown in May. Even though the packet says I can sow it in February because I have an unheated greenhouse. I know this seed packet tells me I've got to sow it now in May. But I know if I do, it won't grow as well. I should sow it in August. And so on and so on and so on and so on down the line. This is advisory information. There's no point in getting on the bandwagon and sowing all your seeds in February, as many people do. Because what you'll end up with is windowsill after windowsill full of veg. Time it. You're not going to be eating this until June or July. You're not going to be seeing this in flower until July. You're not going to be seeing this in flower until July. And finally, with the spinach, you're not going to be eating this till autumn. So why the heck have you sown it in February on a windowsill? Because they don't like being transplanted. That's it, really. I hope in some way that this has helped. Watch your own garden, learn from the seasons in your garden, and sow accordingly. Seed packets are there to advise you because the season can stretch out across the UK and can stretch out across the globe too. Just because they're getting spring across the world in America doesn't mean we're getting our spring here. We're both the same northern hemisphere, but things can change, and it's all about environment and local environment as well. Until next time, bye bye.